following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello, welcome to another edition of our program, CHW in Action, with your host, your CHW, Rafael Calderon. Today I had a pleasant surprise for this TV show because I had spoken with Mr. Tom Lopez about this interview sometime last week, and we talked about, but in Tom Lopez's own way of communicating, I didn't feel that he had confirmed. So I was looking forward to having him here, but I wasn't sure. But he not only showed up, he showed up with one of my favorite artists in the city, Manny Ramirez. So let us welcome our two guests, Tom Lopez and Manny Ramirez. Guys, welcome.
Thanks, Rafael.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry I tricked you by informing you in writing.
No.
Does this boat ever move, or is it just stay here the whole time? I don't get it.
I'm going to make it happen so it moves.
Perpetual waves there.
Yeah, and we'll have the boat going. In fact, we'll have the boat come and pick us up so we can go for a ride.
As long as we go to DR, then I'm good.
In fact, we'll touch on that because I know you want to go there.
Yeah.
I'm planning to go there, and we'll bring Tom along with us.
Nice.
Okay.
You can work on my
That
tail.
would be awesome.
So, guys, I know who you are. I know all of Nashua knows who you are, but now this show has become syndicated.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's actually seen in different cities. And one of my goals is to get it to Super Canal, the Dominican Republic.
That would be great.
Yep. So I want the whole universe to know about Nashua and the cool things that happen in Nashua. You two are part of PSA. You do a lot of good stuff. PSA stands for Positive Street Art. So tell us who you both are, your titles, and what you guys do, please.
Why don't you start? Did you start?
Well, I'm Manny Ramirez, and I am the Vice President of Creative Direction of Positive Street Art and also the co-founder of the organization.
Very nice.
And my name's Tom Lopez, and I am the Director of Development with Positive Street Art. I came about 20 minutes after Manny and Cecilia started it to help them get their paperwork going.
Pretty much.
I got to go on record and say that you guys do a lot of cool stuff. Okay, I love everything that you guys do. I follow it. I don't always get involved because I'm doing a million things myself. But just so you guys know, I admire what you guys do. Okay, and you've been doing it for about 5 years now. So we're here to talk about many things, but one of them is we're having an anniversary.
Yes.
Please tell us about that.
Well, it's our 5-year anniversary, so we're recognizing the 5 years of Positive Street Art. And what's important to remember that with an organization as active and dynamic as Positive Street Art, maybe Manny and I and Cecilia are still here, but a lot of people have come and gone and really thrown their energy and their passion into Positive Street Art. So year by year, we're hoping to recognize all the people who've helped us, all the people who contributed their passion, their vision, and all of the people who have grown as artists and found their own voice that way. When we first started, our board was Cecilia, Manny, myself, but also
Maggie,
we had Maggie Williams,
Yeah,
and
and then
Jim
Jim Veo. Yeah.
we had a lot of support from Alderman Wilshire and Alderman Sheehan. Joe Carvalho let us use the back of his wall to put our first major public mural up on the back of Dunkin' Donuts on Canal Street, the face of PSA. And we've been putting them everywhere we can since, like in in the residential neighborhoods is a nice triptych set up on Ash Street. There's the history of Nashua's inclusion in French Renaissance Park. And most recently, our nostalgia mural on Main Street, on the side of, was it 180 Main Street?
It's 170 Main Street.
Right next to Main Street Methodist. It has the distinction in my mind of being the only mural in Nashua with a slowly changing light scheme because of a collaboration that we were part of. And it recognizes the history of that particular building. So we've done a lot of different public art throughout the years, and we want to recognize all of those accomplishments, but all the people who put their time and effort into it too.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, we have tons of volunteers to thank for all of our accomplishments so far. And this celebration, that's one of the things that we want to bring up, is basically giving thanks to everybody who's helped us out get to where we are right now.
Our advisory board members, Amber Logue has been on the advisory board for quite a while. D-Rock, I think was our first advisory board member.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
When we've had other people have contributed over the years. Even think of them all. Jana, Jess, several Jesses actually.
Yeah, several
Jess
Jesses.
Kozik, we have Jess
Yeah.
Ayala.
We have Sean. Yeah, quite a bit of advisory board members and tons of volunteers.
Yeah.
Very nice. Do we expect all of them to participate at the celebration? Where is it going to happen? How many people are you guys expecting to show up? Tell us more about that.
Well, our capacity is limited, so honestly, we're encouraging the public to register as soon as they can, because we can only have like a little over 100 people up there.
No, actually, it's for seating. It's set up for 175, but we're not really going to have a lot of seating tables. We're going to have kind of like an open concept kind of event. So we'll be able to bring a lot more than 175. So I'm hoping for possibly closer to 300.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, that'd be good.
Very nice.
And
Excellent.
so we put an open call out to get any of our past participants. I know Iris was a member and she moved to North Carolina, Delilah Nangle, and anybody who's participated in our mural painting as well. Eric
Escobar.
Adam Brown.
Yeah.
They do the live walls along the Heritage Trail, and then the one on Elm Street too. And they've become pretty much a staple at all of our downtown art festivals, both as competitors in our art competition, live art battle, and also they've been doing a lot of like presentation work, like creating gateways, welcoming areas, that kind of stuff.
Okay. And what do you guys hope to achieve? What message do you want to send the community to your events? Let's say when you do a mural, right? I know you're trying to share culture, but what do you want to promote? What's the message that you want to convey to the community?
Well, I mean, our mission is our unifying concept to inspire a passion for urban art and to build stronger communities. And a lot of times the message that an individual piece is conveying is generated by that local community. So the ones on Ash Street, for example, the Garden Giant is directly across from the community garden that Pal created. The one on the side of that building, this is all Eddie's Garage on West Hollis. Definitely stop by if you can. The one with the little girl painting a hologram in the sky was inspired by Kristen McAuliffe, and the Powell Center kids helped us pick the concept for that.
Okay.
And then we have the historical murals over in French Park that were done with a combination of newcomers to Nashua and people who grew up in Nashua, so they could share the story of Nashua verbally while they were working and while we were painting it and depicting it on the space.
Okay, very nice. So what kind of music are we playing at the festival? Because I wanted to, last year in the 4th anniversary one, I wanted to play merengue and bachata, that thing. So are you guys planning to do that this year?
We haven't planned on that, but we have a DJ, and I'm pretty sure we can set it up with a DJ for us. I mean, I'm Dominican too, so I'd love to hear it. It's just the general consensus of the people that are going to be going. If there is enough, I mean, with me and our president will be enough for us to dance. That'll be 2 people on a dance floor, good enough for us to play some bachata or merengue. So yeah, we could definitely do that.
And this
This time.
DJ will actually be able to attend, so that's also helpful too.
Okay. Very helpful. All right.
We do teach a Wednesday night bachata class.
I've heard about
If
that.
you would like to participate.
Well, I know how to dance, Tom. I'm actually a very good dancer. Okay.
I would love to see you and Johnny Macho, our instructor, get a little dance off on. I think Raphael might have just called you out, Johnny.
Come on out, Johnny. One-on-one. We'll do a contest. If I win, what do I win?
Bragging rights.
I wouldn't plan that far ahead, honestly.
Okay.
Just focus on the training.
Now, I win in everything that I set my mind to do. I'm a winner. Okay. Speaking about winners, PSA is a winner. You guys had a contest recently.
Yep.
I guess that one you guys didn't win. So if we wanted to do a new contest, what have you guys thought about that? Creating a new type of contest that can convey the message of positive street art and also raise funds.
Well, so the voting contest, I don't know if we aren't winners because we gained about 500 votes and likes out of that.
And I
So we
voted,
did,
just so you
we
know.
did pretty well. And there were a lot of very dedicated people who repeatedly voted, like every day.
I was
as you
going to
were allowed
say,
to,
I
and with
voted
different
much more than
vehicles.
once.
Thank you for that, for sure.
But at the same time, we also had a fundraiser at Boston Billiards that we were using the voting contest to kind of draw visibility to, and we did very well at that. So we were able to fund our education program and our new AmeriCorps Vista position.
I'm glad because honestly, you guys do amazing things, and I want everybody to know what you guys do. And I'm excited to have found you guys here. What you typed, I'm going to show you what he typed. He said, "Seems fair." That doesn't mean yes, I'll be there. Okay, but anyways, I'm happy you guys.
Well,
are
that
here.
was a commitment that if we came here, then you would reemerge as a leader in Nashua. So now that we're here, I guess that has been confirmed.
I have always
It's only
been.
be fair, right?
I have always been a leader. I've just been working behind the scenes because I want my Latin American Center in Nashua, and I've been speaking with people. And I have to say, honestly, between the two, I haven't gotten that much support from the community, but I still love my community. So what I'm doing now, what I've been doing is I've been teaching these diabetes self-management classes way up north, Littleton, New Hampshire, Claremont, New Hampshire. I posted some pictures in Facebook, but the idea is to bring those classes to Nashua. In every class that I teach, that we teach, I have a co-teacher, but I cannot mention her name because I didn't, ask her. But in every class, guys, someone says, thanks to this class, I have lost 4 to 5 pounds. It seems to be the average. I have better control of my diabetes. I'm controlling my low and blood sugar, so my sugar levels. I know how to measure my glucose. So I'm living better. I have more energy. I feel more alive since I took this class, and it's only 6 weeks. Honestly.
Did they say that every class? Like that whole thing you just read?
If I had the notes, I could show you. In every single class, because if you teach someone how to do an action plan and you motivate them to follow it, and then you have other people in the class that are doing the same thing, it becomes contagious. It's a really good class. So I wanted to bring it to Nashua.
I think that process you're describing is a lot of what's worked with PSA. We had an action plan, and we reached out to people in the community, and it was very contagious. People are very excited about positive street art. They like our message. They like the artwork. They love the dance team. Our dance team does amazing. Every performance they do is just incredibly well received. So, if it matters to you, get out there, get visible, get people excited, be contagious. I don't think you're the only one who's interested in a Latino center in Nashua. I've heard the idea. I think maybe just get out there a little bit more and start bringing your like-minded stakeholders together. Anything's possible. We've definitely proven with PSA. Our focus was trying to turn the negative connotations of graffiti into something positive. And 5 years later, we're using aerosol spray on a building on Main Street and generating tons of positive attention.
I will take you up on that because, when I came up with that idea, I expected all the people that I met at meetings and stuff like that to say, okay, we know there's a need because there's a huge need. In fact, I'll tell you, in these classes alone, I teach diabetes self-management classes, healthy health classes, and is the Million Hearts campaign, where CDC wants to prevent a million heart attacks and strokes by 2017, by this year. I've been talking to a lot of people, and we all know, if you look at the data, the Hispanic community is not getting these type of programs. And it's not for lack of desire. For example, the company that I work for now, that I contracted to teach these classes, they want to create more Spanish classes. I'm trying to get people to the classes. But if I don't have the
Are
organizations,
they having you organize them in Littleton? Because I think I might see some of your problem.
no, no. The thing is that we reach out to hospitals and community centers, and we tell them, who do you have that has diabetes? Is it uncontrollable? And can we come in and propose this class as an evidence-based class? Many people say, yeah, come on over. And we haven't had that much luck around here, but that will change now that I'm going to reemerge as a leader.
Good.
And push for it, okay? Because I want everybody to be healthy. But the key thing is that when I came up with this idea of doing a video program to raise funds to create a Latin American center, I didn't get all that much enthusiasm. So what do you do when locally you're not getting the support that you need? You go outside to bring something new to, I guess, re-energize people. That's what I'm trying to do. But now I'll do it more visually, since we made a deal and you came. And you brought my body here with you. Okay, so now let's go back to talking about positive, PSA, because you guys do a lot more cooler things than I do. Okay.
Well, I think a lot of PSA success has been because we focus on the local people there, the areas, the people in the community. We try to get people who are right in that area to help us create the murals. We try to get people who are walking by to engage and understand. We don't just do our work up on the scaffolding and not talk to anybody. We stop and chat with everybody. We play music. We try to make an entertainment and inclusive. And that's partly what inspired our theme this year is we're reactive. And we're trying to promote that when something's going on in the community, we are part of that. There's that synergy of the passion, the underlying issue that needs to be met, and then the positive message that it brings. So the theme of this anniversary event as PSA Reactive is going to be using black lights to bring out different ways to look at color and different ways to look at people. So there'll be black lights. Everybody's encouraged to wear white or neon colors, so to react with it. It'll still be a pretty familiar event to those of us who've gone to other PSA events. We'll have the dance team is preparing a special performance. We'll have art. We'll have the usual good time that we have. Just under the theme of reactive.
Very nice.
Yeah, there'll be a gallery like our past event as well. A DJ is going to decorate everything around the DJ booth to fit the event. So it'll be like fluorescents and black light stuff. So it'll be kind of like a light show in its own. So basically a lot of entertainment like we always usually have.
Very interesting.
And it is a fundraiser because Positive Street Art's a nonprofit organization. We need funding to get these. And the more the public supports us, the more we have the freedom to do authentic artistic work. Like, let the passion drive what's going on. We have a lot of other methods that we do fundraising. We do apply for grants. We do accept support from charitable foundations. We did the voting contest and that kind of stuff. But what we really like to do is provide a service that's worth the contribution. So when we do murals, a lot of our murals actually are on private property that the person has funded it. But a lot of our events and activities are a service to the community where we say, look, we're not just going to ask you to drop money in our hat. We're going to entertain you. We're going to show you the dances. We're going to make sure that there's music. We're going to create an atmosphere so that it's all part of an experience.
It's lovely. I remember in the summertime, you guys had a dance-off, and I was recording the Latin festival. I forget the exact name of it. Very cool stuff. But then I went by the Pell building, and I saw D-Rock dancing with these kids. And in the summertime, I had this youth program called Yes, and my kids saw D-Rock dancing, and they said, "Oh, can we dance with him?" I'm like, "Sure, go talk to him." They didn't even have to ask.
No,
D-Rock pulled them in, and they started dancing.
Yeah.
He's very engaging.
Yeah.
Our new Vista was there too, Nicole Otis. What we've done this year in order to expand the amount of outreach we can do is include a partnership with New Hampshire Catholic Charities, so that we have a Vista who works as a volunteer, taking advantage of all the capacity that we've built over the years, but also helping us realign with our original core mission. Positive Street Art Year 1, one of the first major activities we were doing was teaching classes in the Boys and Girls Club in Powell and really getting out and reaching the youth in the community. And over the last couple of years, we've focused on our art, we've focused on developing our dance program, and we felt that it's time for us to really reconnect with the youth of our program. So what you saw with D-Rock engaging kids, that's part of positive street art too. I mean, it can be difficult being a teenager or even, approaching your teens and knowing how you're supposed to express yourself positively, especially with our city in the grips of an opioid crisis, trying its best to be a very inclusive, warm place, but being a place of much diversity. It's difficult for kids to find that positive self-expression when there's so many other messages that are being, put in front of them. So that's what D-Rock has excelled at for years. He's just consistently taught classes at PAL, inspired kids, really mentored them and taken that step to reach out to them. And that's what we're hoping Nicole can help energize with the volunteers who've helped us with workshops over the years, the partners like the 21st Century Community Learning Center, Girls Inc., Boys and Girls Club. We're energizing them all and trying to really relaunch our workshop program across the city. And what's exciting is that workshop program is tying into our next Main Street mural, which is going to be organized and spearheaded by our president, Cecilia Yulbari. The theme of that is gratitude. So if PSA is reactive to what the community is doing, then our board is showing gratitude because Nashua has really supported us. When we walked up to Joe and said, hey, we want to do a bunch of graffiti on your wall, he was receptive to that. So was the public health department when we were doing the Garden Giant. Former Mayor Lozo was even made a point to say, this isn't my particular style, but I appreciate that it's liked. So that was a risk on her part too, because as a politician and public figure, maybe it wouldn't have been liked. Maybe it could have gone differently. Maybe she didn't know how good we really were. So a lot of faith was put in us, so we want to reflect that with gratitude. And with the new workshop series that we're doing, that's going to be the theme of our spring classes, is getting kids to talk about how to express gratitude, how to thank the people in their lives who have made a difference and made them who they are. And we're going to collect all of that information and all that input and all those submissions and create the next major mural so that it'll be a foundational hallmark downtown, not just of nostalgia or the face of PSA, but the gratitude that is in our community. So nice. we're very excited. There's a lot of people that are pulling for us. Yvonne Dunitz, Simon Foos, that are really trying to help us hit this right and make it the best presentation. Because it really is going to be our 5-year anniversary piece.
Very nice. I'm glad you mentioned something about trying to get kids' attention because of this opioid crisis that we're going through. Because one of the things I'm trying to do, and the main reason why I want my center, and I want to make it clear to you guys, and I want to make it clear to the audience, this Hispanic or Latin American center that I want to create, number one, is not inclusive. I mean, it's not exclusive. It's not only for Spanish people or Latin people. It's for everybody. What I want is the youth in particular to know that they have something that it represents their culture and their language. And I don't see that in Nashua. I know there's many good people in Nashua that want to see that happen. But I want that if a kid that doesn't speak English, only speaks Spanish, says, I want to go to a place to listen to my language, my music, that a Hispanic family wants to taste Spanish food, listen to Spanish music, play some dominoes, do something like that they have a place to go to. But it won't be just for Hispanics. It's going to be for everybody. So with that...
I mean, it would be a presentation of culture for people to go and learn, too.
Exactly. And it will be inclusive for everybody. Right?
Did you know that Marie Goyette is spearheading a cultural series where she's working with R.J. Finley to do presentations and setups of music, food, culture in the R.J. Finley building?
I did not. Please connect me with her. Because like you said, Eli, I've been behind the scenes for a while because I've been trying to find a way to make this thing happen. But I wanted to touch on that, and then I went into my Latin thing, because I created this video production. It's called Creating Your Ideal Lifestyle. I sent you the copy, but I know it's an hour long, so it's going to take a while to watch. But when you do get a chance to watch it, you're going to see that I touch on life coaching, okay, how to live a healthy lifestyle. And I went to the places that I go to feel complete, to put it that way, to feel, I don't want to say successful, to feel that I'm living my ideal lifestyle, I love downtown Baltimore. I love downtown Boston, Washington D.C., Virginia, all that stuff, and the White Mountains because now I've been teaching classes up in the White Mountains.
You're doing a lot
So
of traveling.
oh, I'm telling you, but I'm going to slow down now because I finished all my classes up there, and now I'm trying to start some classes in Nashua. Okay, but the thing is that that video is a way for me to try to educate the youth, to inspire them, to say, listen, you can create your ideal lifestyle. I know there's things going on out there, but if you're busy creating an ideal lifestyle, you're less likely to use or misuse alcohol or drugs because your mind is going to be engaged in pursuing something, in doing something. And I know so many good programs that give all this great advice, but they don't say how to do it. This program is going to show people how to do it, and maybe you guys can help me in promoting it.
Well, I definitely appreciate your attention to it. I know the Boys and Girls Club has a camp for kids who are the children of people who are using. And I think when people are talking about what's the cost of addiction, they're looking at the cost of increased law enforcement or the cost of incarceration, the cost of rehabilitation. I think the real cost is we have a generation growing up watching people struggle with addiction.
Exactly.
It's not a good place for us to be.
Exactly.
So if they can choose activities like positive street art and find their self-expression through dance or through art, or if they can see your video and find the piece that resonates with them, then I think we all have a responsibility to do everything we can because their parents, their cousins, their uncles, their role models are struggling with addiction. It's the least we can do to have the forward-thinking approach enough to say, we should, as a community, rally behind these kids, and we should make sure that they have opportunities, that they have inspiration, they have role models.
They are our future. Okay? And in the point of motivating them to pursue that ideal lifestyle, in the case of Manny and I, we're Dominicans, so it's a paradise. So I want us to talk a little bit about you wanting to go down there and paint a mural, because if things go well for me, I want this video program that I'm doing, I want to bring it to the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, because in the classes that I teach, whenever I bump into an older person that's from the Caribbean or any Hispanic culture, they tell me that there's nothing going on for them in Nashua. And I tell them, no, that is going to change. I'm going to travel and bring you good videos, good stuff, so you can participate in my classes, be part of that community, and then get your children involved. So I want to go home. I am going to go home, and I'm going to get some nice footage. I'm going to Samaná, and I'm working on it. I don't even have a date yet, but I'm going to go. But you said on Facebook you want to go there and paint a mural. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this year I promised to myself that I was going to travel a lot, and one of those places that I need to travel to is Dominican Republic. I have not been there in 20 years. I came here when I was about 11 years old, 10 or 11 years old, and I haven't gone back. You know, just kind of one of those things where it's kind of expensive for your parents to afford it first, and then after you kind of move on your own, it just life takes over, and it's kind of expensive for yourself.
Yes.
So I have to go back home this year, and then one of the things that I wanted to do, I'm a muralist, so like everywhere that I go, I want to leave a part of myself there. So especially back in Dominican Republic. So I put it out there on Facebook to see friends that I have that have family out there, or that live there, or that go there often, if they have kind of any direction that they can point me in, so that I can either find a wall or possibly find somebody who's got a business who wants a mural painted at their in their location in Dominican Republic, or any kind of property where they would like a mural painted at, so that I can bring back a piece of me to back home, and then just kind of leave it as a reminder that I need to go back more often. And yeah, so I got connected with a few people. There's a couple of organizations that are doing a lot of murals. Dominican Republic has always been has been wealthy with art. You know, we have a lot of very talented artists over there. None that I knew of. Now that I'm getting more acquainted, like going to checking out these organizations who now have websites online, and then everything's on the internet now. So I've been getting kind of acquainted about what's happening out there, especially in street art. And it's a lot of really fun murals going on. It's a lot of really, really talented artists. So I like to collaborate, or or at least to connect with the organizations that are doing that stuff. So I was actually lucky enough to my dad's ex-wife. She actually connected me with somebody who who is somehow part of one of those organizations, and now I'm just waiting to connect with the people who actually planned the murals out. So it's just a matter of time that I get out there and paint a mural over there. But I'm very excited about it, and I just can't wait for all these things to come together and me actually being there and painting a mural.
I wish you best of luck with that.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think the Nashua will be supportive of that because Manny is becoming very quickly a source of local pride. We recently had him go represent us at Art Basel and Wynwood Walls. It's in Miami, Florida. And Art Basel is the closest thing to an international art convention that there really is. Yeah. And Wynwood Walls is in Miami. It's a neighborhood that was seeking revitalization, and they had visionaries there who realized that the way to revitalize was to listen to the people and embrace the strengths of that community, which in that case was graffiti art. So Wynwood Walls is a graffiti paradise where block after block of amazing artwork is put up there. And so what we did was we sent the winner of our live art battle series. We sent Nate Terrio, who is a local street artist of in his own right, and then Manny down to represent positive street art. And they found plenty of places to do murals. They were invited to do it. And watching his updates and his posts and his videos on our Facebook page from his trip, I was very proud to see that piece of Nashua out there, because Nashua is your home now.
Yeah.
Well, Dominican will always have that special place. When Manny goes to Dominican to paint, he's putting a piece of Nashua into a new community. He's sharing the best of all of us over there. Because I think in a lot of ways, positive street art was the natural course of events. It was part of Nashua's future, past, whatever. Nashua's always been inclusive. Nashua has always had a lot of people from different places coming together, working towards a common goal, whether it was building the mills, whether it was making clothing. Throughout the years, we've always been a very diverse and dynamic place.
Yes.
And here we have Manny, who is coming and inspiring that passion and drawing on the local concerns, the local issues, the local need to express, and he's finding the talent, the interest. He's bringing it out of the community. A lot of ways, he's been the embodiment of positive street art program as a creative director, but also because his style and his murals have really spoken to people, and that's what draws them in. The same way that D-Rock is very clearly the face of positive street art's dance team. People see him dance, and it resonates in him. So I think sending our artists to other places is an honor for Nashua, because we're taking somebody who represents our best and letting them do that in another place.
It is an honor. I'm very proud of Manny. In fact, though, I'm going to embarrass you now. In the summertime, I was seeing a community health worker client, let's put it that way. And her thing was that we needed to do a mental health approach. So I took her to the river. I forget the name of that downtown Nashua river, the one that goes underneath the bridge. And I'm walking with her, and we're talking about the Wheel of Life philosophy, or Rafael Calderon's Wheel of Life philosophy. And then I see this guy painting this cool mural. And she said, I'm a painter. I don't paint murals, but I do paint also. And I said, let me come and introduce you to, the biggest, representation of Dominican art that we have in this country, in this city, I'm sorry. So I want to introduce them, and I don't know if you guys ended up doing anything together, but the thing is, I don't know if you remember, it was that blonde lady.
Yeah.
It was back in the summer. I'm very proud not only that you are Dominican, but that you use your talents for good. Anyone that does that, when Tom is not bullying me, I speak very highly of him too. You two do great things. The community is very thankful, very proud of you too. So am I. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm hoping to find a way that we can work together. Because you guys want to convey art. I want people to be healthy. People are healthier, they'll be able to do a lot more things, like get more involved in art. So there's got to be a way that we can work together. But in the meantime, what else do you guys have going on? On top of, the anniversary, going to the Dominican Republic and paint a mural, what is PSA doing these days?
Well, PSA is actually supporting Nashua Honduras Outreach Team, which is a project that I started after I went on medical mission trips, medical brigades, run through St. Mary and Joseph's Church. It is a program called Honduran Mission Teams New Hampshire, organized by Mary Roy. Throughout my trips there, I kind of wanted to do a more organic approach. The medical need is critical, and as a health worker, you understand that first you need to make sure that a community is in health and has access to basic medical care. But there is more of a need in Honduras too that I saw, the need to inspire leaders, younger leaders who grew up hoping and working for an ideal but not having access to it. The internet has done a lot for helping people whose voices aren't heard become heard, but there's still something to be said for that personal touch, that in-person connection. So what we've been trying to do with the Honduras Outreach Team is inspire synergy between leaders. Take our own young emerging leaders with the energy and the passion to make a difference in their own communities and give them a break from it so that they could rediscover what they're like without the confines of a community and a neighborhood that has expectations of them. Manny is now known as the artist and the dancer as well. He has specific attributes that the community has come to recognize in him. Manny's going to come with me to Honduras in our 2017 Honduras Outreach Team so that he can go to a new community where they don't know who Manny is. So Manny can rediscover the strengths that he has and maybe find new passions or new areas to explore about himself. We brought D-Rock there last year, and D-Rock learned a lot about what it was like to be in another country, what it was like to be in another culture. And he found strengths within himself that I don't think he knew that he had. D-Rock, without being able to speak any Spanish or communicate specifically any sophisticated knowledge, was completely able to communicate with himself through dance, which he was aware of. But I don't think he understood the power that he actually has in inspiring people. He was able to work with the Hondurans in a farming community where you would not really have expected to find a cache of urban dance enthusiasts. And he brought out a whole b-boy team, breakdancers who really had unbelievable skill, athleticism, talent, and just needed that personal touch, that inspiration. In their case, it was an American coming and paying attention to them and giving them a little bit of support. And then the knowledge to really stitch it together and take the athleticism that they had, the singular moves they all had, their special practiced thing, and learn to work together as a team, create that identity. While we were there, we helped them fundraise for some T-shirts. They came up with the name Los Microchip, and they did a presentation in their community. This is who we are. This is what we're doing. It was very well received, and they participated in a dance competition in which they did, like an international dance competition, in which they did very, very well. So we're excited this year that Manny is going to be joining us. Nice. And bringing his singular artistic talent to the team. Jayla Solis from the National Police Athletic League. Nicole Otis, our AmeriCorps Vista. Jill, who is an alumni from my previous trips. We're all going to be going and working for a week to find the passion in the Honduran partners that we have. What are they looking for? What just needs to be brought out and strengthened? How can they organize themselves to become self-sustaining? So that's really what we're after. We're not just going to wait for the change. We're not just going to expect somebody else to make it happen. We're going to be the change by demonstrating that we are able to go and inspire others. And hopefully by doing that in front of people who are looking for that kind of ability, who want to be their own leaders, they'll be able to find the passion to do it too.
And you also have that cool thing. Remember that last December, not this December, that last year, we did a video where the kids wrote a letter thanking their teachers, the professors for teaching them how to paint and stuff like that.
Yep.
What was the name of that program?
That was Artist Pen Pals.
Okay.
We actually put the word pals in there because the host site was a police athletic league. One of the things we've been brainstorming is doing a workshop during our classes there, or during our trip there for the week. It will be the week of March 22nd to 29th, and then Skyping back and forth with the PAL class so that they can see their teacher, Jayla, in a new place, learning new things. The teachers there, the students that want to be teachers, the leaders, they can see the relationship that Jayla has with the PAL kids. They can see an American class. the kids there can see that too, and they can work together for that kind of synergy that comes from people recognizing each other and sharing a passion.
Very nice.
We've had a lot of success with Skyping back and forth with the dance team. Microchip has worked with our own hip-hop dance team, Thrive, and both sides love it. They love seeing the different moves. They love seeing the different environments, the different participants. And one thing that was really interesting to watch was they're all wearing positive street art shirts. So same mission, same passion, same inspiration, different countries.
Very, very nice. Nice. How do you feel about going to Honduras?
I'm super excited. Yeah, I mean, I've helped Tom kind of like put together some of the logistics of it and fundraise in the past, but I wasn't able to go in the past. So I'm very excited to be going this time. I remember the what's it called, the Artist Pen Pal program, that we kind of worked on that idea together, and I thought it would be really cool for the kids here to communicate with some kids over there, and see how their art is different or alike, where the kids over there, they don't have access to the kind of stuff that the kids have here, so their mentality or their imagination may not be as the same as the kids here. So it's a kind of like an interesting dynamic. So that was fun to put together and kind of see happening. Like it was great when we finally got the drawings from the kids from Honduras to see everything that they did, which is really, really cool. So I'm excited to be a part of that this time around. So
very, very cool. Like I told Tom last year, we should do a Skype interview when you guys are out there, so that Nacho can get to see you guys doing stuff. Because we did something at the Thirsty Toro,
yeah,
where the guys called Skype in. But if we could do a TV show now,
that was Microchip.
That was Microchip. We now have the capacity in this TV studio to do a Skype interview.
So we're definitely down. Like I said, I think I like seeing my community out there doing things. I see the Patriots like crushing it in Texas. I'm excited about that. Yes. I feel like those are my guys that are out there doing it. And so in this case, we want to share that passion, because Nashua is an amazing place. There's very talented people here. There's very passionate people that are working on a lot of things that matter to them. And honestly, I think the world should know. I think we have a lot to share and a lot to give, and a lot of people here looking for that recognition or that opportunity.
Well, guys, let's use this TV show as a vehicle to get things out there.
You are syndicated, I mean.
Yeah, now I'm syndicated. That sounds so cool.
Soon, all the major networks.
So my goal is to be in all the Dominican channels, all the Dominican Republic channels, all the Puerto Rican channels. I'm sticking with the Caribbean because that's what I know for now. But then I do want to eventually go to Honduras. All those channels, all those countries on South America and Central America. Nashua is a beautiful place. We do really good, cool things here. And I've been told by a lot of people that I have sort of like disappeared. And I said, I'm not attending meetings, but I'm still active. You talk to people, they see me doing my community health work. I still do medical interpretations. I still advocate for people in the housing authorities when there's an issue. I do everything that I used to do when you guys met me. I'm doing it. I just haven't been out there showing it off because I wanted to find a way to bring these classes here so I can get our Latin Center.
Well, I think when you have a community like Nashua that's so diverse and passionate, it's not so big that you're not missed if you're not there. So when people are gone or when people are working on other things, there's people are naturally going to wonder, where are they? What happened to them? You were one of the initial artists involved in the Hearts and Minds project.
Yes.
So Hearts and Minds was a project we started last year to recognize our veterans and ensure that Nashua really understood who we had living amongst us, the kind of people that were stepping up and serving our country and guaranteeing the freedoms that we have. A little over a year ago, I want to say, maybe a year and a half, there was some graffiti that was put on the wall right across from Delena's house. And I say graffiti because it wasn't just someone scribbling their name or some random word or everything. They were trying to communicate a message. But the message was an utter indictment of how we treat our veterans. The veterans have chairs that they have out in front. They don't really have a lawn. They don't have a place where they can hang out. So they make do with a sidewalk under an overpass right next to where they park. And they sit there during the day, a lot of times chatting, remembering things, or waiting for somebody to help them, waiting to hear back from an appointment, waiting to find out what their next step is going to be. And people observed that waiting, and I think I haven't fully decided whether they were right or wrong, or whether it was just something that needed to be said. But they put thought bubbles underneath those, or above those chairs, such as, who am I, where am I going to sit, does anybody remember me? And that's why I call it graffiti, because sometimes art is not a comfortable, happy, nostalgic message. Sometimes it's a call to action.
Yes.
So we took that, and we part of the call to action is somebody got their hands on a spray can, and obviously that area should have been supervised. But the other part was, what were they trying to express? That person had created a concept that depended on the veterans sitting there. They knew they would be out the next day, having a seat, chatting, whatever. Otherwise, that thought bubble process wouldn't have worked. And the thoughts that they were having, they aren't kindly towards how we treat our veterans. The veterans themselves, they had a pretty good sense of humor about it at first. They thought it was, funny. But they got tired of it too, and they reached out to us and said, is there something you can do with this wall? So the answer was surprisingly straightforward. Our veterans served our country. Let's put a reminder of what they put themselves out there for. So we put a giant American flag.
That's when we took the pictures.
Yep. And Rick Everhard and his daughter Gianna helped us. It was a really positive experience because the veterans got to meet you, a veteran yourself. Rick got to meet and recognize his fellow Nashuans. Gianna got to meet a lot of people who really, she has a lot of respect for, because they served our country. They put their time in, and it was good for her to have those kind of role models. For my part, I discovered how incredibly complicated it is to paint our flag. So getting those stars to line up just right was ridiculous. But we created it, and it really gave the veterans at the time a sense of pride. They came over and they chatted with us while they were doing it. And so then we did the second Hearts and Minds one, the bigger one, which is over at the parking lot off of Water Street.
Yes.
And that one isn't just for vets. The first one was for veterans. It was for the people at Delena's house. Second one was a reminder to everyone in Nashua, these are our veterans. These are the branches of service that they've protected our country through. Thank you. Just publicly acknowledging them and leaving that reminder there that this is part of our country.
I remember that experience, and I was so honored and so proud to be standing next to those guys. I mean, my action time was like, 2 weeks and a half. But when you go overseas, you put on all that gear, and you get a little hungry, and all you get is these MREs, and it gets interesting. For me, I was in the desert, so it was very hot during the day, very cold during the night. I learned to appreciate the value of hot water during those 2 weeks, right? You go through a lot. You miss your families, you miss your friends. You know that something could happen to you, but you believe in what you're doing, so you're over there. You come back home, and then you find things like that graffiti. You find people that don't comprehend what you sacrifice for the belief that this country is worth fighting for. So for me, it was an honor to meet those veterans. You know that I got the most hits on Facebook from those pictures that I took. And it was you and Rick and the child that were painting. I got them all. So what that told me is that Nashua responds when you show that you care. And when we care for our veterans, it sends a message to them. They feel appreciated. So that's why I'm very happy to get back involved. I couldn't make it to the meeting, but it was 10 in the morning,
10 in the morning.
Sunday.
We start that early.
I try to go to church whenever I can, so it was hard for me. But I want to go. I want to get involved. I'm going to get back into things and let people know.
Week after next.
No, I'll be there. I'll be there.
That's actually a good example of how things came full circle, because I reached out to Joe Carvalho and said, hey, I'm sure you remember me from when we first painted that thing. Can you do something for our veterans? We're trying to have a meeting over at Delena's house. We want to encourage them to come out. What about coffee and donuts? He was right up for it. I think people really recognize certain principles or certain causes. Positive Street Art has been so well received because they want a positive message. They want that passion for urban arts. They want a stronger communities. And we take that responsibility seriously. We want to help build a stronger community between civilians and veterans, between artists and people who've served our country. So what we're organizing, the reason we've started our meetings again, is we aren't just going to pass our hat around and say, hey, can you donate money for our next mural? We're planning our third and biggest mural on Quincy Street. It'll be a 2-story piece that will, It will focus on the families of veterans and the support they provided and the role they provide. And again, we're not just going to ask for money. We're having a fundraiser where people will come to a road race, a 5K in Mine Falls, and they'll be part of an experience. You know, the first people to register get T-shirts. The people who raise over 150 get hoodies. We're running with the vets. We're doing it together. We're organizing the project at Delena's house with the support of the Partnership for Successful Living because we don't want to do things for vets. We want to do it with them. We want to build that bridge between the communities and really recognize that these are people who represent the best of our community. And yes, sometimes we don't live up to what they deserve. But if they bring out the best in us, then we can do better.
I agree. And that's why I'm going to ask you a question, Manny. But before I go there, I wanted to mention that I told you guys before we went live, I've been accepted to the board of the Selective Service of the United States of America, which to me is a big honor. I get to help more. And I was hoping, and I'm going to go on records, because I was hoping to get President Obama's signature on that thing. I didn't get it for, I guess it was the time frame was going on. I'm going to reach out to my president and I'm going to have him sign. Just so I have something that came from Obama, President Obama, just so you guys know. Okay?
He might be busy. I heard he's got some kind of move, like packing his stuff up or something.
He's going to be busy and in high demand, you know, but I'm going to find him. But I wanted to mention that I've been, I have a picture that I'm going to find a way for, you know, to put up on this video of the actual certificate of appointment, so on and so forth. Because I asked if I'm the first Dominican or Hispanic to be appointed in this region. So I don't know if I couldn't confirm it, but I just want to make the point that I'm going to use such things to raise funds, to make these things happen, to make hearts and minds happen, to blow it up as much as possible, and see how far we can take it. If we can get something, and my prize is going to be, this came out of Nashua, and Nashua is supporting our veterans. So I'm going to see how I can link those two together, and I'm going to participate. I'm going to be running in that race. Let's see if we can get the whole community to participate.
Now, selective service.
Yes.
What are your responsibilities on that board?
I am, well, the main thing, you know, the selective service is basically when you become 18, you have to sign saying that you're ready to go to, even if you end up not going. And I always believed in that. When I signed that, when I was 18, I didn't even know how to speak English. Someone translated it for me. But I believe that you protect the land that where you live. So what that basically the board becomes active if there were another draft. And the idea of the selective board would be like if let's say someone had an issue with going and not going, and someone felt discriminated or misunderstood, what have you, they would come before the board. But there's another aspect to it that I came to find out a few weeks ago, which is why I was looking forward to being appointed. It also ties into the healthcare. You want your soldiers to be healthy. You want your communities to be healthy so that if you have to, put a draft forward, that people can actually go and defend the country. So my role is going to be to represent this region when it comes to people being ready to join if they have issues, that they have a voice. I will be the voice for the people, and I'll be the voice not only for all English-speaking Americans. Now, if we have any Spanish-speaking Americans, then I can represent them. So to me, it's a great honor.
Well, I know you will represent everybody fairly and equally, but I think it will be a comfort for the Hispanic community and the Latino community to know that there's somebody on that board that represents them and understands their particular issues. And I appreciate the fact that it's someone like you who is Dominican and served in the United States Army to help defend us all.
Thank you.
I think it's also important for you to get any president to sign your paper, because Obama may be somebody that you appreciate, but it's important for any president or any national leader to be conscious and very, very careful with what we do with our military.
I agree with you 100%. Any president would be good because they are the president. But the thing with Obama is that I campaigned for him when he was beginning to run. When he first showed up and did a speech, way before he ran, I could see he was a leader. I could see he cared. I could see his passion. So I'm one of those people that say, I wish that guy runs for president. And I'll be honest, and I'll say I love Hillary as well. So I was unsure when they were both competing. I respect and love both of them. But Obama, in my opinion, he came in, he brought the change, he did a good job. I hope that all of the presidents do such a great job. But to me, he gave a voice to people. He's done so many cool things. I'm someone that owes student loans from back in my days. He worked to make things easier for me. You see, so it's not just that he's a political president per se. He actually put himself, in my opinion, of course, put himself in the place of people that needed his help and his influence. And he did that. And I got to stop before I get too political on you guys.
Well, I work with veterans who are homeless, who are trying to access services, and I would like to stop someday. I would like people to not need to be deployed overseas, not need urgent medical care or PTSD treatment or those kind of things when they're coming back. And I would encourage any president to consider that these people don't just serve. They are giving their lives, whether they die on the battlefield or whether they come back with their lives forever changed. And we need to be careful of that.
I agree with you. They are my brothers and sisters. Even today, even though I'm older, if I'm needed, if I'm called, I'll be there.
Speaking of your brothers, my suggestion would be, if you're looking for Obama, look for a program that supports youth, kids, minorities. That's his MO. So wherever he ends up, I'm sure you'll find him if you look for those things.
I will do that. And I will ask Manny one question. We're coming close to the end of this program, but we have some time. But just to show you guys how time flies when you're talking about important, fun stuff. Okay? So for you, how do you feel? I mean, you know that you're becoming like the face of Nashua when it comes to art. Okay? And it's well deserved. Okay? So what is your passion for making this happen? When you're painting a mural, what's going through your head?
Where does it come from?
Yeah, where?
I mean, every project is different, but I mean, I think for me it's just having fun altogether. I paint just because I like to have fun. I remember I have at my previous job, some kids would ask me like, how did you become so good? And then they would show me some of their sketches, and they're like, I can never draw like you. And the first question I ask them is, do you like to do it? Do you like drawing? And they're like, yeah, I love it. So don't stop doing it. So basically that's kind of how it was for me. I started drawing at a very early age, and every time that I was doing it, time just flew by. Just kind of like this interview. Time just flew by, and I was enjoying myself, and I didn't notice whether I was good or bad. I wasn't subjecting my work to kind of like trying to see how good is it against other artists or anything like that. I was just drawing for the fun of drawing, until it came a point where I kind of realized, well, I'm getting pretty good at this, so I might as well continue. I have fun at it, so I continue doing it. And then as far as the question that you asked me, I think it's more to get people involved and inspire people to do what I do. If you like drawing, or like I always put it out there in a generic term, if you like drawing, painting, dancing, singing, anything that has to do with the arts or not with the arts, anything that you love doing, get out there and do it. Don't be afraid for scrutiny of your talents, to not do it or stop doing it. Don't stop. Just continue to do what you love to do. If you love it, there might be some kind of niche that you find as you grow up in it, or they might not. That's just something that you love doing. So why don't stop doing that?
Good things. I won't stop. I'll follow your lead.
Awesome.
And with
this boat stopped.
I'm going to take you on that boat. Gentlemen, with that, time has flown away. It's the end of the interview.
Thank you for having us.
No, it's a pleasure truly for me to have you both. You guys got to come back, okay? Because this was a lot of fun.
We will.
Right? And thank you for being with us. As you can see, two very cool guys that do very cool things for the community. Okay? PSA, Positive Street Art, is going to have its 5th anniversary. If you have any questions, Tom, real quick, how do they reach you? How do people get a ticket?
PositiveStreetArt.org. Easiest way to get us.
Very easy. Okay? So go to this thing. I was going to be out of state that weekend, but now they changed my mind. I'm going to go. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to share it with you. Okay? So thanks again for your time. We appreciate it. As always, I wish you love and happiness. Your CHW, Rafael Calderon.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.